What happens to a $500,000 yacht when the owner simply stops paying the marina? It does not vanish. It does not get towed off to some secret government warehouse. It gets sold for $60,000 to whoever bothers to show up on a Tuesday morning. Most people have no idea this channel even exists, because the sale is advertised about as loudly as a zoning hearing. A legal notice nobody reads, tucked in the back of a county paper, run by a port whose only real goal is to claw back the unpaid slip fees. There is no auctioneer chant, no spotlight, no glossy brochure. By the end of this, you will know how a Marina Lien actually works, how to find these sales before the crowd does, and the one catch that can leave you owning a yacht you legally cannot move. Let me start with why this is even possible right now, because the timing matters more than people think. Boat prices are falling, not rising. New powerboat sales dropped almost 9% last year, and the used market is now roughly 80% of all the boats changing hands in this country. That pandemic wave of buyers who all rushed out to grab a boat in 2020 and 2021, that wave is unwinding. Some of those buyers default on the loan. Some of them just stop paying the slip fee and walk away, leaving the boat tied to a dock that is no longer theirs. And here is the part that hands you the deal. An older fiberglass hull has no scrap value. None. You can melt down a car for the steel, but a fiberglass boat nobody wants is worth almost nothing on paper. So when a marina is sitting on an abandoned yacht and a pile of unpaid invoices, they are not trying to make a profit on the sale. They just want their money back. That single fact is the entire opportunity, and it is why a boat worth $500,000 can change hands for the cost of a used pickup truck. So how does a marina actually turn an abandoned boat into a sale? Walk through it with me, because once you see the mechanism, you will spot these sales everywhere. It starts the same way every time. An owner stops paying. The slip fees pile up month after month, and the marina sends letters that go unanswered. At some point, the port authority or the harbor department has had enough, and they file a lien on the vessel. Depending on the state, that is a maritime lien or a possessory lien, but the effect is the same. The boat is now legally attached to the debt. The owner cannot quietly come back and sail it away, and the marina now has a path to sell it. Then comes the notice period. By law, the marina has to publish a public notice before they can sell. This is that legal notice I mentioned, the one nobody reads. It runs in the back of the local paper, or it gets posted on a government auction site, and it sits there for a required number of days. That notice period is your window. The people who win these boats are the ones who were reading those notices while everyone else was scrolling past them. After the notice period closes, they hold the sale. And this is where the magic number comes from. The minimum bid is not based on what the boat is worth. It is based on the debt. The unpaid slip fees, plus the cost of towing the boat, plus the storage that has been piling up the whole time, that is it. So you will see opening bids calculated right down to the dollar, something like $1,273, because that is the exact amount the port is owed. The boat above it might be worth $250,000. The opening bid is whatever the marina needs to break even. Sit with that for a second, because it is genuinely strange. In almost every other market, the price tracks the value. A car that is worth more costs more. Here the two numbers come completely unhooked from each other. A marina that is owed $1,200 on a $40,000 sailboat will open the bidding at $1,200, and if nobody else read the notice, the next bid wins it. The boat's value never enters the math, only the debt does. That disconnect is the whole reason this works, and it only exists because the people running the sale are not in the boat business. They are in the get our money back business, and once they have their money, they are done. Now let me give you real places where this actually happens, because I do not want you taking my word for it. Up in Washington, the Port of Everett runs abandoned vessel auctions online through GovDeals. You register for free, you search by location, and you can set alerts so the system tells you when a boat lands near you. Everything is sold as is. Where is? There is usually a 10% buyer premium on top of your winning bid, and you get about 5 business days to physically remove the boat, or you forfeit it. Read that line twice, because it becomes important later. Down in California, The Berkeley Marina holds its lien sales right out on the marina lawn, no fancy venue. Sailboats opening around $1,000, bidders standing on the grass next to the water. Newport Beach runs impound auctions for boats it has seized, and those are cash only. Viewing at 9 in the morning, the hammer drops at 10. If you are not standing there with cash in hand, you are not bidding. So the front door to all of this is simpler than you would guess. Check the website of every port authority and harbor department within driving distance of you. Check the legal notices section of your local papers, the part nobody reads, and register on GovDeals and set alerts for your zip code. That is the whole access map. It is not hidden behind a paywall or a broker. It is hidden behind being boring, and boring is exactly why it stays uncrowded. Let me put a real boat on this so the math is not abstract. Picture a Hatteras 53 motor yacht. In good condition on the open market, a boat like that runs around $500,000. It is a serious vessel, twin diesels, a real blue water cruiser, the kind of boat people spend a decade saving for. Now picture that same Hatteras at a lien sale. The owner ran out of money, stopped paying the slip, and walked. The port is owed back fees and the cost of towing it. So the opening bid is built off that debt, and a boat like this can change hands for somewhere around $60,000. $500,000 a boat for $60,000. On the surface, that is a $440,000 discount. And that is exactly the number that gets people to quit their jobs and start chasing auctions. I want to be straight with you about those figures. That $500,000 to $60,000 spread is a representative example, not a guaranteed receipt. Some sales close tighter than that, some lower, and a lot depends on how much debt has stacked up and how many other people read the same notice you did. But the shape of the deal is real. The minimum bid really is built off the debt, not the value. And that is why the gap can get this wide. And before you start spending the savings in your head, do the honest math on what comes after. A boat like that Hatteras has twin diesels, and if they have been sitting neglected at a dock for a year or two, you are looking at real work. Worst case, a full repower on a vessel that size can run $20,000 to $40,000 by itself. And that is before you touch the systems, the electronics, or the interior. So that $440,000 discount on paper is never really $440,000 in your pocket. The smart buyers price the refit in before they bid, not after they have already won. $60,000 to buy plus $30,000 to make it run is still a staggering deal on a $500,000 yacht. But you have to walk in knowing the second number exists. So if it is that good, why isn't everyone doing it? Here is the honest part. The part the people selling you the dream tend to leave out. The hammer price is not your total price. In a lot of these sales, you can owe back fees on top of what you bid. The debt that created the auction does not always vanish just because you won. Depending on the state and the type of lien, some of that obligation can follow the boat to you. You have to know before you raise your hand exactly what you are taking on. Then there is the slip. Remember that 5 business days to remove the boat? You have to put a 53-foot yacht somewhere, and slips are not sitting empty waiting for you. Waiting lists at a lot of marinas run 6 months to 2 years. Mortgage has roughly doubled in the last 5 years, to around $1,000 a month in a lot of places, because private equity has been buying up marinas and the slip fees keep climbing. So you can win a $500,000 boat and have nowhere on earth to legally keep it. That is not a hypothetical. That is the single most common way these deals fall apart. Condition is the next wall. These boats are sold as is, where is, sight largely unseen. The owner stopped paying for a reason, and sometimes that reason is that the boat needs work the owner could not afford. You might be buying a clean yacht that just got caught in a bad year, or you might be buying a project that will eat every dollar you saved on the purchase. From the dock, you usually cannot tell which. And then there is the title. This is the quiet one. Lien sale title quality varies by state. In some states, the sale strips the old claims clean, and you walk away with a clear title. In others, you can end up with a clouded title, with old liens or paperwork problems that surface only when you try to insure it, register it, or sell it. There is no national rule here. The lien sale law and the title outcome change the moment you cross a state line, So you cannot assume what worked for somebody in Florida holds true for you in Washington. That clouded title leads straight into the next wall, which is insurance. A lot of people find out the hard way that the real problem is not buying the boat, it is covering it afterward. An older vessel with a murky title is exactly the kind of boat an insurer does not want to write a policy on, and for a lot of buyers, that is the actual showstopper. The boat sits in the slip and the owner cannot get anyone to insure it, which means the marina will not let it stay and the bank will not finance a dime against it. Settle that question before the auction, not after, the same way you settle the slip. And one more, because it trips up more people than any other. These sales want cash. The Newport Beach impound auction is cash only, full stop. And even the online platforms expect you to settle fast, often within a few business days. There is no 30-year loan on a $60,000 lien sale yacht, so you need that money liquid and ready. And the honest truth is that almost nobody has that kind of free cash sitting around. If you would have to scramble or borrow to come up with the money the day you win, you are not really in a position to bid yet. So how do the smart buyers handle all of that? They do the work before the auction, not after, and that order is everything. Before they bid, they verify the exact title situation and find out precisely what debt transfers to them. Not a guess, not a hope. They call the port, they read the notice carefully, and they confirm whether back fees follow the boat. If they cannot get a straight answer, they treat that as a red flag and walk. Before they bid, they line up the slip. They have a marina spot or a boatyard ready to take the vessel before they ever raise a hand, because they know about that 5-day clock. The slip is not an afterthought. The slip is the whole game. If you do not have a place to put it, you do not bid, full stop. Before they bid, they read their state's lien sale law, or they spend an hour with someone who knows it. They want to understand what kind of title comes out the other side in their state, not someone else's. And when they can, they preview with a surveyor. A pre-purchase look from an independent marine surveyor who works for you, not the marina, is the highest leverage money in this entire process. On a boat this size, it is not pocket change, but against a $60,000 purchase that could turn into a money pit, it is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Now, let me tell you who should not do this at all, because honesty is the whole point of this channel. If you have nowhere to put the boat, walk away. I mean that plainly. The deal of the century is worthless if you cannot legally keep the thing. If you are picturing yourself winning a 53-foot Hatteras and then figuring out the slip afterward, you are the person these auctions quietly eat alive. The slip shortage does not care how good your bargain was. Solve the place to keep it first, or do not start at all. This is not a get-rich scheme, and it is not a shortcut for people who want a turnkey yacht. It is a real path for someone patient, with a little cash, a place to dock, and the willingness to do their homework before the hammer falls. For that person, the Marina Lien sale is one of the last honest bargains left on the water. Here is what I want from you. Drop a comment and tell me whether you have ever seen a Marina Lien sale in your area and what was actually on the block. I read those, and the local details are gold for everyone here trying to find their own deal. And if the marina is the trap, the slip is the lock on it. I made a separate video on how smart owners beat the $1,000 a month marina trap, because the slip problem really is the whole game, and it is the piece that decides whether any of these deals are worth chasing. Subscribe if you want that one next.